How's it going, everyone? It's Joe from Joe's Dojo, and he's currently coming at you with another video. Today, we are going to be talking about some of my favorite theme parks. So, it's currently the off season here in the world of roller coasters. It's the early/mid November, and it's going to be cold outside. Not many parks in this area are open anymore for the season, and I decided why not just talk about some of my theme parks that I've been to. So, officially speaking, I've been to 27 theme parks, but I'm gonna be honest, I've been to more than that. Some parks that I'm not counting that I've been to, but it's been so long, include Seaside Parks in New Jersey, Wildwood, the Atlantic City Boardwalk, Keensburg Amusement Park. Like these are parks that I've been to, but like it's been way too long since I've been there, and I haven't really seen the park recently, so I don't want to include those in my rankings. But I have been to over 30 different theme parks. This video is going to be mostly unedited from an audio standpoint. What I am going to do is I'm going to try to put in some video of me at these parks. Um, Not really sure if all of them are going to have video because I started doing this vlog a little bit late in the summer of last season, but I'm going to try my best to get some good content for you guys. So, yeah, let's just get right into the rankings. Again, mostly East Coast because I have not been to the West Coast yet. It is on my radar to get out to Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland, and also Universal Hollywood. Those are on my radar, but I have not been there yet. Hopefully next year I can get 2 trips out to California. That would be great. That's my plan, but no promises yet. I have a lot going on, and I just want to make sure that all the important stuff is taken care of. But yeah, so let's just get into my rankings. Like I said, unedited audio. I'm going to add some video in here and make it a little bit more interesting for you guys, but it's just me talking right now, and I'm going to just dive into it. So, number 10 probably recently changed because originally I would have had the Hollywood Studios here because I loved the, uh, what was it called? The Rock and Roller Coaster that was Aerosmith themed. I loved all the Star Wars stuff and it was great. But then for a while, the Rocky Coaster was closed. It got rethemed, and I have not gotten to ride the new Muppets version of the ride yet. But so that is probably the 11th park on my list. But in its place is going to be Epcot, and Epcot's been growing on me. Originally, wasn't a huge fan of Epcot just because there wasn't really a whole lot of different rides to do. But the rides that they do have are awesome, and also I like the theming a lot at Epcot. So they have this theme where it's like all different countries from around the world, and you can basically walk around the world and visit all these different countries. Each part of the park has its own section, and there's like people that are like from the countries that work there. You can buy different things from the countries. It's or based around the countries, and it's really great stuff. Some of my favorite parts about Epcot are definitely Soarin' Around the World. That is one of my favorite non-roller coasters. It's a flying theater, and you basically get to soar around different parts of the world, and it's great. They have a new version coming out pretty soon, and it's going to be Soaring Around America. That's one I definitely want to check out because I'm from America, I live in America, and I think America's great. But the Soaring Around the World is one of my favorite non-coaster roller rides, and the other big attraction at Epcot for me is the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, and that is new last year, I believe, and or it might have been 2023. I don't really know off the top of my head. It's very new, within the last 2 or 3 years, and it's a fun ride. It's not my favorite ride, not my least favorite ride. It's like a very good, fun ride, and it's indoors, and it's a lot of fun. Great presentation, really fun. No complaints about Epcot other than I wish there was another big roller coaster or attraction there. But it's really meant for the theming, seeing all the different countries, and just having a great time. And it's a blast. I hope to get there sometime in 2026. Um, you never know. Don't really have any immediate plans to get there right now, but I would like to get back to Florida because I would like to get on a few coasters down there. But that is number 10. And number 9 is actually staying in Florida, Universal Studios. And this is just regular Universal Studios. So growing up, I've been to this park, I think 3 or 4 times, maybe. It might be more than that. I might be losing count. I remember 3 or 4 of them. And my favorite parts about this park were the Revenge of the Mummy ride. This ride was one of my favorites growing up. Nowadays, there's so many different better coasters, but the theming on the Revenge of the Mummy ride is insane. I wish I had some footage of it for you guys because it's just awesome. Like, your souls are mine. is one of the best parts of a roller coaster that I can remember. Um, and also, the other ride that was there that stood out to me was Rip Ride Rocket, which unfortunately has been removed since the last time I've been there. So that is unfortunate. But the rest of the park is really, really fun. There's the new Harry Potter stuff that's there, and I enjoy the park. I always loved Universal a little bit more than Disney growing up. Disney's kind of making, they're trying to be on the same level as Universal. They're making a good case, but yeah, I have not been to Epic Universe yet. That is one thing that I hope to get to 2026 or 2027 maybe. I just have so much going on, and I haven't really had the time or the ability really to get down there. I hope to get to Epic Universe soon. Stardust Racers is very high on my list of coasters that I want to ride, and I think that is going to be insane. But yeah, so Islands of Adventure is also really high on my list. We're not going to talk about that one just yet. That's coming a little bit later. But number 8 is going to be Silver Dollar City. So I got to visit Silver Dollar City with some family who live in Arkansas, and it was a great time. Two standout rides to me at Silver Dollar City were Time Traveler and Outlaw Run. And if you don't know about those rides, you should probably look them up because Outlaw Run is an RMC wooden coaster and it is a lot of fun. There's an inversion on there and it is amazing. Time Traveler was an experience. It was definitely something I did not expect. Basically, it's a Mac Extreme spinner, and you're spinning around while doing like an actual like really good roller coaster too. Um, didn't know what to expect getting into it, but the ride was legit. It was fun. There are some other great coasters there. Powder Keg was fun. Um, there was also a mine train that was interesting, and a couple of other rides that were unique as well. And one of the things that I liked about Silver Dollar City was just the theming. The theming was really cool, like the presentation and how just unique all these rides were. Wildfire is another great ride at Silver Dollar City, B&M, and yeah, Silver Dollar City has a lot of fun rides. Uh, the next park on my list has a lot of rides, 13 of them. I didn't get to get on all 13, and that was the last park that I visited, King's Dominion. And King's Dominion has a top 5 coaster for me, Pantherian, a Giga coaster, and that was the reason why I made it out to to King's Dominion. It was awesome riding a coaster at night. Oh man, that was insane. I was so glad that I got there. The other thing that King's Dominion has is Rapterra, the new for 2025 launch coaster. That was a wing coaster as well. Really great coaster, two really good coasters there. And then you also have a bunch of really strong other coasters. Dominator was one. What else was that? King's Dominion. The Tim Billy ride, which was basically a Joker. Apple's Apple, Twisted Timbers. There's a few one. Twisted Timbers was my 200th coaster, and that was an RMC, and that was a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed King's Dominion. I wish I had more time there because I had to basically speed run it, and unfortunately, I only had like 3 or 4 hours at the park. Since I had to be back the next day, that was a crazy time. But we made it to work on time. Everything was great. The show went well. It was good. King's Dominion. I want to get there during the day because that would be interesting. I didn't get to ride Grizzly when I was there, which apparently is one of the best wooden coasters around, and I really want to get on Grizzly next time. They close it during the haunt season because they use it, I think, in one of the haunted attractions, as somebody said at the store that I was at King's Dominion. So that's good to know for next time, and it gives me a reason to come back because I would like to go during the day when it's not haunt season, just to try it out, something different. But it is a little bit far. It's about 8 hours from where I'm at, so I gotta have a little bit more better planning next time. Because literally, I had to leave at 10:30 at night, and I had to work at like 7:30 the next day. So, not best planning, not great planning on my end, but I made it work, and things are fine. The next park, number 6, we're gonna be going back to Florida, and that is Islands of Adventure, and this has two of my all-time favorite rides. So originally, before I went traveling everywhere, the Hulk was one of my top 10 coasters, and that ride is still a lot of fun. It's one of the better ones, but lots of others have surpassed it in my rankings now. But one coaster that they do have, in my opinion, that is a borderline top 5, definitely top 10 coaster, Velocicoaster. That ride is incredible. One of my favorite part is that roll over the water. Oh man, it's insane. The launch is incredible. The speed, I love everything about Velocicoaster. It was great, and the wait wasn't even that long for the ride when we were there. It was like maybe 30 or 40 minutes. There was also, I believe, Hagrid's is at Islands of Adventure. If it's not there, it's at the other Universal Park. There's so many. There are two parks, but to me, it's one park because I always visit both on the same day, pretty much. So I should be combining both of them into one park, but we'll keep it separate for the purposes of this video. And just the overall theming, and like there's so many rides at Islands of Adventure. The Spider-Man ride is great. Doctor Doom's Fearfall, I think, is there as well. That's a fun ride. There's This park has more than just roller coasters, and it's just awesome. I love just walking through the city walk, everything about it. They had when I was younger, I don't know if it's still here, but they had the NBA experience. I think it was either here or at the original Universal, and it was a lot of fun doing that, going to dinner at that place, and just the basketball themed. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. One specific memory that I have from Universal, it was actually at the regular Universal Studios. Is my parents, my brother, and we got I guess it was a fast pass, and it was a really good fast pass because we passed people so many times in Revenge of the Mummy when we were kids, like literally, like we would do like 4 or 5 rides of and we would pass the same people. Like they would get frustrated that we're passing them in line. It's kind of funny, but yeah, that was a great memory. Getting to do everything at Universal with my family, and then we also did it recently with my friends too. I think it was 2 years ago now, and that was when I got to ride Velocicoaster with a couple of my friends. It was a great time, and I loved everything about Universal. I wish it wasn't so expensive to get to because I would definitely be visiting more often. But I always try to go when I can because I love Universal and just Florida in general. I wish I could live in Florida sometimes. Not a huge fan of this cold weather here in Connecticut, but that's not really something I can control. The next thing on my list, number 5, is going to be Hershey Park. And Hershey Park blew me away. I was not expecting it to be that great of a park. So they have 3 hypercoasters there. We got Sky Rush, which is a borderline hypercoaster. It's a debate if it really is or not. I'll call it a hypercoaster because it has pretty much all the ingredients that a hypercoaster should have. We got Candemonium, and we also have. Is there 2? There might be 2 hypercoasters. I don't know why I said 3. Definitely 2 hypercoasters. And then there's also Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park. An amazing ride. All 3 of those are incredible. But then the supporting cast around it. It has my favorite of the Boomerangs in the Jolly Rancher remix, Storm Runner, which is a nice intimate launch coaster. It's got Fahrenheit, which is like one of those really straight down drops. The Great Bear was okay, a little overrated in my opinion, not my favorite invert. What else? They have one of my least favorite coasters, and that's Laugh Track, which I waited in a long line for that. It was not fun. Did not. That's a one and done coaster for me. Laugh Track. But there is a lot of good stuff at Hershey Park. I really wish I could get back there. I was planning to go this year again, but unfortunately I could not get off of work for the next day, and I just felt like I had to play it safe and just be at work and be responsible. Because I had tickets to go see Slayer at Hershey Stadium, and my plan was to do the park either the day before or after if I was able to get off of work, but I just couldn't get off of work, and unfortunately I had to miss the concert. But that's okay. I mean, I got the tickets so far in advance that like I wasn't expecting to get off of work, especially with having to miss 2 previous weekends. But that's okay. I'll get back to Hershey Park, but it's not high on my priority just because I have so many other theme parks that I would like to get to. The next park, number 4, is another park that I recently visited, and that is Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I was not expecting this park to be that great, but it was incredible. So, first of all, the theming was outstanding for the haunt. I had no idea where I was going half the time, and that added to the experience, and also just the spookiness of it. Like, there was so much theming going along. It was incredible. But not only that, the rides were incredible too. Pantheon is one of my top 15 to 20 favorite coasters right now. The launches on that are insane. I loved every aspect of that coaster. Apollo's Chariot, the original B&M Hypercoaster, was also a lot of fun. We have Alpengeist, a great B&M invert. not my favorite invert, but also not my least favorite. I think the Great Bear is probably my least favorite B&M invert right now. Then there was Invader, a really solid wooden ride. There was the Big Bad Wolf's Revenge, and a few other coasters. That Loch Ness Monster was there as well. So there was a lot of great rides. Definitely a lot of variety. Dark Coaster was there, Griffin, and there was so many rides that were really good at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Glad I made it out there, and definitely glad that I had the second day while I was there with enough time to get on everything. That was a lot of fun. The third park on my list might surprise people that it's not number one, and for me, um, I debated putting this number two for me, but Cedar Point is just quantity. They have so many coasters, so if I had to make a rankings of the coasters that are there, Steel Vengeance number one for me for sure. Top Thrill 2 number two, and then we got Millennium Force, and then Maverick are probably my top four there, off the top of my head. Gatekeeper's up there as well, and yeah, so definitely one of my. I'm surprised. I'm sure a lot of you are surprised that it's not my all-time favorite park right now. There's so much quantity, but I feel like there's just how do I put this? Not a lot of theming at Cedar Point. There is some. I will give them that. There is some. Siren Chairs has some theming, but I was not able to ride Siren Chairs because the line was just incredibly long, and I was with a group of people, so I couldn't really wait 4.5 hours for one ride. That would be nuts. But they have a lot of great rides there. Valraven, Gemini, Magnum. So many great rides at Cedar Point, and I love going just because it's, first of all, it's just a getaway from the everyday grind of life, and just to be able to go there and ride some roller coasters, have a great time, spend a few days there is great. The first time I went, I had one day there, and I had a fast lane, I think it was fast lane, yeah. And I was able to do everything in one day. I kind of wish that I had multiple days there, looking back at it, because the next time I went with a group of my friends for a bachelor party, and we were able to get on everything over the course of a few days. So it was great. Well, everything except Siren Curse, but that's not really. We weren't expecting it to get on that anyway. But yeah, the Cedar Point's great. Just not a lot of theming, and overall, I liked the next park a little bit more, and that is Kings Island. Is my second out of the top 10 coasters. Kings Island. First time I was there, I was blown away. Orion, Diamondback, The Beast, Mystic Timbers, so many incredible, great rides. They have more quality over quantity, where I feel like Cedar Point is quantity over quality. And that's why I like Kings Island a little bit more. Can't forget about Banshee as well. Raptor at Cedar Point, some great rides as well. So, three of my favorite coasters of all time right now at Kings Island are definitely the Beast. I'm still deciding if it's better than El Toro. It's right there. It depends on the day. If I can ride Beast at night, I think that'll be better than El Toro. But I did not get to ride it at night this year. I was planning to, but things changed. So I had a few day rides, which was great. And then they have Mystic Timbers, which is a fun ride, but it's short. And I wish that it was a little bit longer, because if it was longer, it might be better than Beast. But for me, it's a little too short. And then you got two incredible rides in Orion and Diamondback. Diamondback Back Row is one of my all-time favorite rides. It's a little bit lower on my rankings now compared to where it was originally, just because I've been on so many great rides in general. But Diamondback Back Row, you'll thank me later after you do it. And then Orion's just one of the good Giga coasters. There's better ones out there, but Orion is just a solid, fun Giga coaster. But the number one park that might surprise a lot of people, because there's not a lot of coasters here, and it's Holiday World. Believe it or not, Holiday World is my favorite park that I've been to so far, out of the 27 different parks that I've been to. And there's a few reasons. Number one, the theming. It's all about holidays. Each section of the park has holidays themed. So like there's a Thanksgiving section, there's a Halloween section, Christmas section. Like there's a bunch of sections that are just themed to different holidays, and I think that's the most unique kind of experience that there is right now at a theme park. And they don't have a lot of quality, or they don't have a lot of quantity as far as roller coasters, but they do have quality, and that is what I appreciate. So they have my second all time favorite roller coaster in the Voyage, and that ride at night is something else. It'll change you. You got to ride it at night with the lights on because it's something else, man. You'll be like so much hang time, the experience, just not knowing where you're going to be going, how long the ride is. The ride is insane, and it's one of my all-time favorite rides. It's so long too, and it's not one of those short rides like Mystic Timbers. It's great, but that's not the only ride that they have there. They have the sorry, I almost said the wrong one. They have the Legend, which is a lot like Mystic Timbers but a little bit longer, and that's why I like Mystic Timbers, or that's why I like the Legend a little bit more than Mystic Timbers, just because it's a little bit longer. They're both great rides. They're both a lot of fun, but for me, I think the length of the Legend gives it a slight edge. I think they're similar in time, but it feels like the Legend is a little bit longer. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing, but it could be a me thing. I don't know, but I like the Legend a lot, and it blew me away when I wrote it. It definitely reminded me of Mystic Timbers, no doubt about that. And I'm glad that I got it to go on that. The third wooden coaster that they have is really good as well. Not as good as the first two is the Raven. And the Raven is a really fun ride. It's the first one that I did when I got there, and I loved it. Was not expecting it to be that great, but it blew me away. I always do the back row on these wooden coasters just because you get so much hang time. Front rowers are fun, but I like the front row more for like hypers and giga coasters, and I like the back row more for wooden coasters personally. But that is the three coasters that stood out, as well as also there is one more, and I forget the name of it. It's the orange um, wing coaster. Is it Thunderbird? I think it's Thunderbird, and that is a lot of fun as well. It's a launch wing coaster, and I think I like it a little bit more than I like the Raven. But those four coasters stood out to me. Did not get to ride the family boomerang that was there, unfortunately. I had a very little limited time, and I wanted to prioritize getting the Voyage because that was the whole reason I made the trip for that specific coaster. So that is my top 10 park rankings. Other parks that I've been to that were fun. All the other Walt Disney World Orlando parks were great. I talked about Hollywood Studios. I talked about Epcot. One that I didn't get to talk about is Magic Kingdom, and that's probably the next on my list, number 12. We're now going backwards as far as listed. So we did the top 10. Now I'm going to just talk about some other ones. Number 12, because number 11 was Hollywood Studios. Number 12 is going to be Magic Kingdom. It's a park that's growing on me a little bit. There are not really a ton of roller coasters there. We got Blue Thunder Mountain Railroad, which is a fun roller coaster. It's been under maintenance for a while. You got Small World there. You got Pirates of the Caribbean. You got a bunch of small flat rides, dark rides, and it's a fun experience. You got the Haunted House there, or Haunted Mansion, I think it's called officially, and just the theming is incredible at the Magic Kingdom. One of my favorite parks to visit, just not my top 10 favorites. Excuse me. Some other parks that I enjoyed going to, Busch Gardens Tampa has my all-time favorite coaster. I'm not going to spoil that because that's going to be another different rankings video. But if you know me and if you know what kind of coasters that I like, you can figure it out. Busch Gardens Tampa, there were some rides that were closed there that I didn't get to go on, unfortunately. So I have a reason to go back. And of course, my favorite coasters there. So other coasters, Six Flags Great America, another one that has quantity over quality. A lot of coasters there. Some of them are really good, but nothing that like is earth shattering that stands out. Trying to think of, there's Goliath that was there, the Viper was there. There was the it's not Raging Bull. It might be Raging Bull. Is it Raging Bull? There's the Hyper there. I think it's Raging Bull. It's the one of the earlier Hyper coasters. I think it's Raging Bull. Let me look at this real quick. I have my list open up here somewhere. Six Flags Dreadnought. Yeah, it's Raging Bull. Okay, so I had it right. The other one that they had was Wrath of Rakshasa, which is a fun dive coaster that had a lot of theming. Sorry, I'm looking over this real quick. There we go. Wrath of Rakshasa was good. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Sorry. So there's a lot of good quantity coasters there, but nothing like that was earth shattering that stood out to me. Another park that I loved going to was SeaWorld Orlando, mostly because of Mako, a really good B&M hypercoaster. I think I prefer Nitro slightly just because I'm biased toward Nitro, but honestly, objectively speaking, I think it's a little bit better of a ride. It's more smooth than Nitro, but because I'm from New Jersey and I grew up riding Nitro all the time, I think I just prefer Nitro personally. But I see why people consider it better than Nitro and probably one of the better hypercoasters. They also have that flying coaster, Manta, I think it's called, and a few other coasters as well. Journey to Atlantis was closed, and so was Kraken. I think Kraken was closed, and Kumba was closed when I went to Busch Gardens, Tampa. So I didn't get to ride Kumba. But apparently it's open now, and that's another reason to get back there. Uh, and I might be getting the parks confused with those, but they're all in Florida. That's close enough. Canada's Wonderland is surprisingly all the way down at 16 for me in my rankings, and the reason why it's so low is just customer service. I didn't really have a great experience. Didn't get to ride Up in Fury, which was the whole reason why I came out. I was trying to get a night ride on it, didn't work out, and I only had a limited time, so I could not ride Up in Fury. Um, Maybe the next time I go, once I ride Alpine Fury again, or once I ride Alpine Fury, get there again, maybe it'll be a little bit higher in my rankings. There was a lot of good quantity, definitely a variety, which I appreciate, and some solid coasters there, but nothing that like. Leviathan stood out. It was like, holy crap, this is insane. Leviathan was definitely a top 10 coaster for me, no doubt about that. And then they had Behemoth. That was a really good coaster as well. But those beyond those two, like not really that much that I enjoyed. But Leviathan is one of my top 10 coasters right now. I think I prefer Pantherian for sure, but Leviathan was awesome. The other part, I don't know how much further I should take this. I guess I'll do the top 20. So, number 17, Kennywood. Kennywood has a lot of good theming. That's what I appreciate about Kennywood. There's two coasters that stand out to me that are really really good. Phantom's Revenge, which is the hyper coaster. The only thing that I didn't like that was the first drop is on like a bit of an angle or a turn, and it's a little bit different than some of the other hyper coasters. But like the ejector hang time that you get on the other hills is nuts, and that's what I like about the Phantom's Revenge. And Steel Curtain has some of the best theming that I've ever seen on a roller coaster. And I'm a big fan of football and the NFL, so to see Steelers themed roller coaster was really awesome with all those inversions. That ride was a lot of fun. And then there's a bunch of older wooden coasters that are at Kennywood as well. So if you like wooden coasters, it's a fun park. Six Flags St. Louis is the next one on my list. I really liked the Boss, which I'm wearing the shirt for now. There it is, the Boss. This is where I got that shirt. Six Flags St. Louis. The Boss was incredible. I had to wait like a good hour for it because it was downpouring, but it was worth the wait. The Boss reminds me so much of the Beast, just because of the views and the way the ride is. It reminds me of the Beast, and that's why I love that park. I think American Eagle is there as well, another wooden coaster that was a lot of fun. Very rough ride for some, but for me it was awesome. They have a lot of the similar Six Flags rides that you see at other places, so that's why it's not really higher on my list. Just because there's a lot of repeat rides, like there's a Boomerang there that I know of, a Mine Train, and a few others. There's a junior Vekoma coaster that's there as well at Six Flags St. Louis, but the Boss is a standout. Mr. Freeze is awesome as well. I really enjoyed that experience for the first time. I'd never been on a Mr. Freeze before. Six Flags St. Louis, a lot of fun, and I would definitely go back there for sure. I have a friend that lives not too far from Six Flags St. Louis. So, speaking of a friend that lives not too far away from Six Flags St. Louis, I got to visit Worlds of Fun this year, which that is the next park on my list, number 19. And Worlds of Fun was good. It was a lot of fun. I got to go with that friend that I visited, and he didn't ride the coasters, but they have some great coasters there. Some that stood out to me, Prowler, is one of the better wooden coasters that are around that area. Not better than the Boss. Not better than. I think it's better than American Eagle. They have Patriot, which is an invert. That was a lot of fun. They have Mamba, which I got a shirt from Mamba when I was there. Those are the three that stood out to me. Um, Timberwolf was closed, unfortunately, because of some incident that occurred on the ride not too previously in the past. I don't really know exactly when the incident happened, but that ride was closed. And then They have also like a Pandemonium kind of ride, but the line there was too long for that ride, so I did not get to ride that. Then there was the Zambezi Zinger. I still don't know if I'm saying that name right, but that's okay. It's just the way I say it. I think there was one other ride that was at Worlds of Fun that I'm forgetting. But Worlds of Fun, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. A smaller theme park, not really a whole lot to it, but I enjoyed it. And then the next and final park that I want to talk about is probably going to be Kentucky Kingdom. So another park that has quality over quantity. Windchaser is a really good RMC iBox that I got to ride when I visited Kentucky Kingdom. I'm glad I got to go on it. It was a lot of fun. That kind of prepared me for also the Twisted Timbers, which I was at the King's Dominion, which those two rides are very similar. I want to kind of do a ride of Twisted Timbers during the day just to see how similar it is to Windchaser. I know the beginning's very similar, but then it was hard to see at night where exactly we're going. So they had Windchaser, they had Woodland Run, which was a very good woody coaster, similar to some of the others that we've been on that I talked about. Not one of the better ones, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. Definitely in my top 100 rankings. The other coaster that stood out was Lightning Run, and it's basically like a mini hypercoaster. Like literally, like it's a hypercoaster, just not tall enough to be a hypercoaster. It's like an intro to hypercoasters. If somebody's afraid of heights or they're not really sure about hypercoasters, they should try to get on one of these mini hypercoasters because that'll set you up for the hypers and gigas that are coming later. Because there's not really too many of these like mini hypercoasters that are out there, but I appreciate the good ones. They also had the Kentucky Flyer, which was a solid wooden coaster. And then they just announced a new coaster for next year, which I don't really know much about off the top of my head. I think it's the Kentucky Flyer, or no, they have the Kentucky Flyer. Something with a fox. I think it's something with a fox. I forget what the actual name is, but I can look that up. But that is pretty much my top 20-ish coasters. I know I kind of did it in a weird order. I started at number 10, and then I went backwards after that. But thankfully, we got through it all. And yeah, very minimal editing to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to insert some footage of myself at these parks while I was talking about it. If I'm talking about a specific ride that I've been on with footage, there'll be footage of that ride in this video, even if it's pre-footage, just to have some backdrop for you guys. Don't really know the next theme park that I'm going to be visiting. Like I mentioned, I do have plans for California to get to 2 trips to California, Northern Cal and a Southern Cal trip. Those are on my radar for sure. I would like to get back out to the Midwest because there's some parks that I would like to get to, like Lost Island, Adventureland, Mount Olympus, and a few others that are in that general area. But that's not as high on the priority as California is. But the 2 other big trips that I have are the Southeast trip, which gets me to Dollywood, Six Flags Over Georgia, Carowinds, and Fun Spot Atlanta. That's a big trip that's on my radar, as well as the 2 California ones, but also Texas. I might do. I don't know how I'm going to prioritize this yet because Texas is a huge state as well. They got so there's Over Texas, Six Flags Over Texas. There's Six Flags Fiesta Texas. There is SeaWorld San Antonio, and there's Codaland, and also the Dallas Cowboys, which unfortunately is my favorite team, play there. So I might try to get to a Cowboys game when I go in that area, but that is a next year thing, 2026 beyond. Not really anytime soon for that. I gotta figure out the exact order or the way that I'm planning this because I don't really know much beyond that yet. I'll be able to get to most of them, just don't know when or where. I also have some overseas trips in my mind. Nothing's planned yet, but I have some parks overseas that I would like to visit, just probably not till 2028 if I'm being honest, because I just recently, as I mentioned in previous videos, I closed on a condo and I'm going to be focusing on moving and just making sure that I can make my payments and doing all that. So I'm going to try to get to some of these theme parks when I can, but unfortunately I don't really know exactly when the next park I'm going to be visiting is. So that's why I decided to do something different for this video. I wanted to try to talk about some of my favorite parks. Eventually I'm going to be giving you guys a top whatever roller coaster rankings list. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. Top 50 might be too many. Top 20 might seem more reasonable because that's kind of like what this one was. This video is already over half an hour, which I was not expecting it to be that long. It's probably going to be one of the longer videos on my channel. But you know what? I'm glad that I did it. I got to talk about some of my experiences at theme parks. I didn't get to talk about every different theme park that I've been to, like Lake Compounds was a lot of fun. Boulder Dash at night was incredible. Um, but like Stony Park is a smaller park that was solid. Six Flags New England is a park that I went to twice this year, but I did not vlog. I saved the vlog for 2026 because Quantum Accelerator. I wanted to make sure that I had that in the vlog for next year. But yeah, so that is basically all the parks that I've been to recently. Uh, Coney Island's another one that I forgot about in this video, and Knoebels. I haven't been to Knoebels in a while. Would like to get back there as well. That's all the theme parks that I think I can mention off the top of my head that I know I've been to recently. Uh, there's a lot of others that, like I said at the beginning of the video, that I've been to, but I was so young, don't remember much about it, and I feel like I don't feel comfortable putting it in these rankings just because I don't remember really anything about the coasters. But for the ones in this video, I've been to recently enough. I feel like Knoebels it might be a stretch because it's been a few years, but I remember most of Knoebels. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you again for watching this video. Like I said, I plan on doing a coaster rankings video at some point. I also might just talk about some different types of roller coasters in general because I like talking about them. They're a lot of fun and it gives me something to do, something to keep my mind off of the daily grind of life and work. So I figured why not just try something different. Gonna take a while to edit this video because I have to import all the footage of these roller coasters that I've been on into the video. But you know what? It's gonna be a lot of fun. You guys are gonna appreciate this. I have 202 different roller coasters that I have officially been on that I know and can remember, can recall riding them. So the list is gonna be just growing. I might try to change my goal up for next year though, because last year it was focusing on the individual roller coasters. I might try to switch it up to like a theme park thing, like how many different theme parks can I visit in a season, kind of thing. So I don't know. I was thinking about it. I might still do roller coaster, like getting to another 100 coasters or something. I don't really know exactly what I'm trying to do next year. I have some ideas, but yeah. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoy the journey, and it's gonna just keep continuing. This is definitely a different style of video. I tried something new. Don't know how it's gonna go. Hopefully you all like it, and there's definitely gonna be more coming soon. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you have an amazing night. Have a good one, guys.